the real fuckaroo is the people that are leaving are the winners, and the people who are staying are fucking dum-dums.
Gia was trying to put the smaller box on top of the bigger box and carry them both together. And Cody was like yelling at her, Gia, I can't lift this by myself. So at one point, she took the smaller box and she was going to put it on her shoulder and she was going to help him lift the other box. And I'm like, he's
No.
not getting it. Like,
No,
she
he
was
doesn't
trying
get
to
it.
help. She was trying to help. Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Special Forces Season 4, Episode number 5, and this one is called Trust. This is Day 5, 0640, which is 6:40 a.m., and there's 13 recruits left. So the DSs are talking, and they're halfway through, and they say that they need to get rid of 3 or 4 people. And so DSs go out, they call everyone to come out, and they're letting them know that this is, a lot of mental and physical is going to continue to happen, and they give them an out. They offer them, if anyone wants to quit, now's the time to quit.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Young immediately quits. And now prior to this, he was in the tent talking to Ravi, and the two of them were kind of like, Nick was complaining about his knee was bothering him, and Ravi wasn't, I don't know what he was complaining about. Do you remember what Ravi was complaining about?
I don't remember, but one thing I wrote down, I didn't write down who said it, because with this show, I have a very difficult time between the numbers and the people's names. So I wish they would just put both of them on the screen. I don't care, but just so you can figure it out. Somebody in the tent said, and I believe it was the NFL player that has the light eyes. He's African American. I think he said, I'm not
Randall
trying to
Cobb.
leave. Yeah, I'm not trying to leave here with emotional distress.
Okay.
I thought that was really telling. And after Nick left, I thought to myself, well, I would almost consider my decision to leave as a strength, because knowing your own boundaries is a good thing. Maybe some people would say Brittany quit the first day. You know what? She knew. She was like, oh, this is not for me. The guy, when he went through the tunnels, he was like, I'm just not up for it. I can't do it. So
Johnny Manziel, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not anybody's hero except for my own. I think, with Johnny Manziel, when you had the leadership challenge on top of it, that puts a whole nother thing and it kind of explodes. But I don't know. Everybody's not cut out to be a special forces person, or the whole world would be special forces people. So I'm just saying, if I was to leave, I would know that I would be leaving when I was at my end. So I don't know. I kind of look at it as a strength for Nick to be like, it's just, if you can't do it, you can't do it. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very valid point. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because I didn't look at it that way. In my mind, I thought to myself, he's a quitter. That's,
Right.
Honestly, even Johnny Manziel, since you brought him up, when he quit in the tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling Andrew about him, and he's like, that's what he does. He's a quitter. And that's what he said. But that's what he said basically when the DSs talked to him, is that, he gives up on himself. And I thought that that's why he went there, is not to give up on himself. And then he did it again. So
Right.
I understand what you're saying, though. I mean, it's a very valid point.
Yeah. I'm just looking at them differently, Maybe the real fuckaroo is the people that are leaving are the winners, and the people who are staying are fucking dum-dums. Because nobody's going to be a special forces dude when you get down. You know what I'm just trying.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it a little differently.
No, I'm glad that you gave us a different perspective. So, like I said, Nick Young left, and then Ravi left. Listen, when Ravi left, I kind of, after he told the DSs about his family, and I thought of him a little bit differently. I feel like, and again, this is just my thoughts, that he left not so much for himself, but for his family, because he feels like that's where he needs to be.
Right.
Because he left them, kind of high and dry. But he didn't, but that's how he felt. So now it's 08:50, which is 8:50 a.m. So it's roughly 2 hours later, and there's 11 recruits remaining. So they've accomplished something.
Mhm.
They talk about that, special forces, you rely on trust and integrity. And he has, who would you not rely on a mission to take on a mission with? And he calls up Brianna first and asks her, and she says, Chanel, number 8.
Mhm.
And then he asks Mark Estes, number 3, and he also says Chanel, number 8. Chanel is the supermodel. And she says, like, being in selection, there's been so many times she's been rejected. As, being a supermodel is not an easy gig, right?
No, and especially she's African American, and when she first started out, it was not that proliferate of a people to select
Right,
for modeling.
right. So then he calls Chanel up and she chooses number 3, which is Mark Estes. Then Sean, she calls number 8, Chanel. Then Christy Rampone, she selects Gia, number 18. Randall also selects Gia, number 18. And Andrew, Sean's husband, also selects Chanel, number 8.
Mhm.
So she got chosen the most to be the least trusted by the recruits. And I'll tell you, in the car ride, Gia says, like, Chanel may not be physically strong, but she was there for me when I was having a panic attack. Like, she got me through it. And
Yeah.
Brianna said she helped me get through also. But Brianna was the first one to name her.
Yeah.
And we
And
find out later.
I was thinking to myself, like, that's not, I don't know if that's actually valid. Like the least trust that you could trust. I mean, that's kind of harsh. The weakest link isn't always because of trust. I mean, it could be a physical thing. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of the wording. I guess I thought was kind of harsh.
No, I mean, listen, and I've really felt from her. I felt for her because, you could see she was also, they left for the next challenge and she was, she was crying.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric was sitting next to her, Eric Decker, and he said, just let it out, get through this. And she really proves herself in the end, is all I'm going to say. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll get there.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
she's a rock star. I'm going to just say that. I think that Chanel is a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say it again about Gia. I am so proud to watch
So
her. I feel
impressed. So impressed.
she's got such integrity.
Mm-hmm.
She has got such grit.
Yes.
Really,
Very impressed. Yes.
I'm very, very impressed by her. I really am. I
Mm-hmm.
really am. For such a young girl, and she's not a girl, she's a lady, but I still see her as, because, I've seen her, I've watched her on TV since she was a little girl. So that's kind of
Right.
how I still see her. But I am so proud of her and to see where she's at in this
Yeah.
journey
Most
for her.
definitely.
So the next thing they're doing is they have to go through a village, they have to grab all their equipment, and they have to get out. So he puts them into teams. It's Team Alpha and Team Bravo, and they're going to go head to head against each other. Team Alpha is Mark, Jesse James Decker, and Chanel Iman, and he makes Chanel Iman the leader.
Mm-hmm.
And Team Bravo is Sean, Christy, and Andrew East. So he's got a husband and wife team, but he makes Andrew the leader. Honestly, besides the fact that there's 2 women on that team, they're both physically strong women. One's a professional soccer player, the other one's a professional gymnast. Andrew is an ex-NFL player. So physically, this is a much stronger team.
Yes. Most definitely.
Team Bravo obviously finishes first. Chanel was really struggling physically. She was really struggling. She asked Christy to help her lift, but I feel like she was struggling so much physically that she really was focusing on that instead of the mental aspect of it, which would have been her taking the leadership role, because I don't think that that's something she's ever had to do. She kind of said that, right?
Yeah. She
She's
definitely
used
said
to,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's used to just looking out for herself, keeping her head down, and just
Mm-hmm.
working hard. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what she was doing,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Like she said, she was raised to be a pretty face.
So that they wind up losing. That team winds up losing. They were 12 minutes. They finished 12 minutes after. But listen, they finished it.
They
And you know what?
finished. Yeah.
They finished it, right? So then there was 5 left, and the next 5 go. Team Bravo is I was very surprised to see Cody Brown back. I thought once he was, medically pulled that he was done. I didn't know that they were gonna bring him back. Did you?
No. No, I did
And
not.
I feel like they should have explained it, to be quite honest with you, right? So, Team Bravo was Cody and Gia and Brianna, and Cody was the leader of that team. Team Alpha, there was only 2 people left, was Randall and Mark Estes, and Randall was the leader. So I also was very surprised that Cody said that he's not used to being a leader, which is very
Yes.
odd for
Yeah.
someone who is a polygamist and has several wives. Well, if he's not leading, then who the hell is?
I don't know what he was talking about.
Right?
I don't know. I don't know what he was talking about.
I mean, that made no sense.
No, no sense at all.
But again, in this challenge, I really feel like Gia was stepping up as well.
Mhm.
She was saying, you're not listening to your teammates. Like, you can't just like barrel through and do this at your pace. You're working as a team.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
Well,
I liked
with Cody Brown, I don't know. I'm starting to look at him and I'm starting to think roids and, like, ADHD medication. That's what I'm starting to
really,
think. That's how he's hitting me. I had known nothing about it. This is a totally uneducated guess, but when I look at him, that's what I see. That's what I
really,
see.
that's interesting. Interesting. Randall is the leader, and it's only him and Mark Estes, and he struggles with no longer playing in the NFL, and because he felt like he would still be playing, and we don't know yet why he stopped playing.
Mhm.
But I mean, obviously they're 2 men, they're physically stronger. They finished first, so
Of
the other
course, yeah, 'cause it's a
team
little
failed.
unfair, you know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, those boxes were not only were they extremely heavy, which you could tell, but they were very awkward in size and length. So
They
if
were cumbersome, yeah,
yes,
cumbersome. It was totally a thing where you had to work as a team, you know? So, with those but what was that thing that Cody said? God, it was something about being masculine.
we did. I missed that.
Yeah, it was some kinda quote that he said, something about being masculine. And, you know what, in some ways it's true, like, as a father and a husband, your role should be to assist your family and lead them out of danger. But he just made it, like, all about his masculinity. I forget what the quote was, but it was just like, "Ew."
Yeah. I mean, I remember specifically when Cody and Gia, there was 2 boxes, a smaller box and a bigger box, and Gia was trying to put the smaller box on top of the bigger box and carry them both together. And
Mhm.
Cody was like yelling at her, Gia, I can't lift this by myself. So at one point, she took the smaller box and she was going to put it on her shoulder and she was going to help him lift the other box. And I'm like, he's
No.
not getting it. Like she
No, he
was
doesn't
trying
get
to
it.
help. She
Mhm.
was trying to help.
Yeah, no. He's just a
So they're
turd.
yeah, I'm not a
He's a
fan.
turd.
I've not a fan. I've never been a fan. Um, I'm actually disappointed to see that he's back because I don't think he should have gotten to come back. Because in any other show that I've ever watched as a competition show, if you leave even for a medical reason, you're done. The competition's over.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Unless maybe they don't really consider this a competition because there's no prize at the end.
Maybe.
So they all get back, and the DSs decide to call back number 8, Chanel, and they ask her how she thinks she's been doing. And that's actually how they started with all of them. They always ask
Yes.
them, like, how do you think you're doing? She said it's challenging and it's hard. She admits that she's out of shape, that normally she's a quiet and reserved person. And she talks about when she started modeling when she was 12 or 13, her look was not in trend.
Yes.
Her look wasn't in trend. So she would be told no over and over again. And there are times that she would take a break from the industry just for her own mental stability and her own mental health.
Mhm.
But she's used to being a mute because that's how models were. You're just supposed to stand there and look pretty. You're not supposed to talk. And
Yeah,
she was
just keep
exposed
quiet.
to, yeah, things like everything from sex to drugs and a lot of stuff at a very young age that I think she mentally is very, very strong.
Yeah. Because I imagine in the time when she was coming up in modeling, I bet you there was a lot of pay to play going on, you know?
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that's why she got a lot of no's too, because she was just I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna squeal on anybody of the things that I know, but I'm not doing that, so therefore, I'm not taking the job. I just feel like that's how she would be.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So the DSs tell her that she needs to be a bit more of a presence if she's gonna be there in the end. They ask her, "Do you think you're gonna be there in the end?" And she's like, "Yeah, I plan on be here in the end." They're like, "Okay, what?" They're the ones that decide. But I like that she said she plans on staying. I like that
Yeah,
she
oh, yeah.
wants to be there.
Yeah. Now, did you notice that when she got back from her interview, she really didn't share much? She certainly didn't share like the other people shared when they got back from the interview,
Yeah, because that's who she is.
because
She's
that's who she
reserved.
is.
Yeah, I did notice that. I did. Then they call out Randall, and I thought they told him to pick his recruits, but I don't think they did because then they said the toilets need to be cleaned and number 2 and number 3 are to do that. I don't even know
Yeah,
who that is, number 2 and number 3. I
I
tried to
get so confused.
Yeah. And then the mess hall, number 8, which was Chanel, and number 18, which was Gia, they were to clean that.
Mhm.
So as soon as Gia and Chanel get to the mess hall, Gia sees this box with all these snacks and goodies. The first
Mhm.
thing Chanel says, "Don't trust it. Don't
Yep.
touch it."
Don't
That's the
touch it. Yep.
first reaction she has. And then Randall walks in and Gia's like, look what they left. So Randall's like, he brings it out to the team and the team says to him, like, "Are we allowed to have this?" He's like, "Yeah, I think it was there. I think it's a morale booster."
Mhm.
But again, Chanel kept maintaining, "Don't touch it. Don't eat it."
Right. But, on the other hand, it was a perfect example for Chanel to put herself in a leadership position to protect her teammates, right? So, keep them from getting in trouble. She could have took, you know, control of the situation and said, "Hey, let's really look at the box. I told you guys, I don't think it's a good idea." Like she could have put her foot down a little more.
I think, and listen, I think she said it quite a few times and
Mhm.
they didn't listen to her. And that's who she is. Like, I don't think that listen, in her gut, she knew it was wrong. She said it several times. It's not, don't do it. And she stood to her principles. Not that she didn't want it, but she stood by, "It's wrong. I'm not doing it."
Right. So now let me ask the audience and you, Wendy, a question.
Huh?
If you were on that show and Randall brought that box out, would you eat it? Would you have eaten it? Everybody ate it except for
I
Chanel.
don't I don't know. I don't know because if there were rules, because it seemed like there were, that everyone knew that these are things that you're not supposed to eat, I would have questioned it too. I think I would
Yeah.
have questioned it too, but I don't know.
I feel like I wouldn't have eaten it. I feel like I would have been, at this point, I would have been like so sus of everything that I would have been like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, unless a DS directly told you that you could have that, I mean, nobody saw that on the box.
Right.
It was written on the box.
Right. Right. It was written on the box. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I think? And I don't know. So it's very easy to play armchair quarterback, right? I think I would have asked, you know what I mean? Like,
But
I think I would have
somebody,
asked a question.
I forget who it was.
I mean,
Somebody
to
did
someone,
ask. Somebody
well,
did ask and said,
they asked,
"Are you sure we should be eating this?"
yeah, but they
I
asked
forget who it
Randall.
was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I would have asked someone who could have
Oh,
given an
somebody
answer,
would
not
have,
Randall.
right, 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 right.
You know what I'm saying? I would have
Yeah,
asked a
yeah,
DS or I would have asked one of the other,
yeah.
the other people of authority, not
Right,
not one of my teammates.
right.
I don't know. It's a good question though. So then real after that, when they're all done, Randall realizes that the box said DS dorm and he goes back into the tent and he apologizes to them. He's like, it's my bad. And Chanel said, "Again, I told you not to eat it. I
Mhm.
told you not to eat it." The next thing they're going to do is they go out to do another test and this is going to be a backwards dive.
Now, nope. I told you, it's all about that backwards thing.
Yeah.
Remember I keep saying about the backwards stuff? Leaning
Yes.
backwards over the dam, leaning backwards out of the helicopter. So when I saw this, I was like, "Nope, nope."
Yeah, doing the backwards dive. So to pass this test, you and your partner need to fall backwards at the exact same time. Fall backwards. So you need to put
Backwards.
your hands crossed over your body and fall backwards into water off like this platform.
Mhm.
They didn't tell us how high that platform was, but it looked very high. I have no idea how high it was.
I would say if I had to guess, I'd say it was like 10, 12 feet.
God, I think it was higher than that.
You know what? It appeared to be higher, but when you really looked, I don't think it was that high.
That could be, because I feel like if
It
it was, they would
appeared
have
a
told
lot
us.
it
It
appeared a
was
lot higher than it was. I'm not saying I could have done it because I already said nope. But there was just the angles, like if there was a certain shot of it where you could see the platform and the water, and then you could kind of measure the distance. So I'm thinking it was like maybe at the most 15 feet.
okay. Well, that's not.
It did look a
It looked
lot.
like 100 feet to me.
It
Like I'm
looked
thinking, like this,
really, yes. Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
looks crazy.
Yeah.
So the first up is Jesse James Decker and Christy, and Jesse's decides that he's going to lead. And Christy says that her biggest fear is the water, and she's not a strong swimmer, and she almost drowned as a child. So,
Mhm.
you know,
It's so weird that they put them together. They both have 3 names.
yeah, that's true. That's true. So they failed. Jessie, when she fell backwards, because they didn't go back at the same time, she hit her nose and she thinks that it was bleeding. They think maybe she broke it.
Mhm.
Next is, oh, then they give us the time. So I just wanted to give you this time. So now the next time they give us, it's after those two went, it's 1540 hours, which means it's 3:40 in the afternoon. So we started the day out at 6 o'clock, and now
6
it's
o'clock, right.
3:40.
Yeah.
Right? It's 3:40 in the afternoon. I like to try and keep track of like how long this day actually
That
is,
is, yeah.
Okay, so then the next group to go is Randall, number 14, and number 11, Andrew. Andrew's the lead, and Randall hesitated, so they failed.
They failed,
They didn't
yep.
they didn't go the same time. Next is Gia and Cody, and Gia's the lead, and they failed. Again, I think Gia did a great job leading. I did.
I put down, "No shit. Gia pulled the gymnastics move." I loved it. Gia
Yeah.
pulled the gymnastics move. And you know what? She must be the only intelligent one there, because after you watch that go on, you have to say to yourself, okay, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to fall backwards, but fuck if I'm going to land on my face. She's the only one who figured out how to not do like the flat face slam by doing a flip. So good for
Mhm.
you, Gia.
Yeah. She was the first to figure it out because Sean did too. She's a gymnast.
Mm-hmm.
Then next was Chanel and Mark, and Chanel was the lead, and they failed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sean and Eric Decker. Sean was the lead, and they passed. Then number 2, Brianna was left, but there wasn't a partner, so they picked Chanel to go again with her and made Chanel the lead again, giving her another chance, and they passed.
And
And I
it
thought it
was
was,
very nice that Gia offered to go with her. I was like, damn, Gia, you're just smacking it all down today,
yeah, she really stepped up.
right?
And I also thought it was very interesting after they did it together, Brianna and Chanel, and they passed. On the ride back, Brianna said, Chanel won't even look at me. So she was still upset. She was still upset with her
Mm-hmm.
for calling her out. She
Mm-hmm.
was still upset with her. And listen, not that I blame her. I really don't.
Well, you're in that situation. You got to pick somebody.
Yeah.
You got to pick somebody.
Yeah, but this is what I think. I don't like when females pick another female. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I wish they would have like just picked a male. Like
Just
just
picked a
pick
male. Just
Cody.
right,
Pick Cody.
right. Yeah,
Freaking pick
right.
Cody. You know what I'm
Dick.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, you have to pick somebody, but like, I would rather that women stick together. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me.
No, no, no. I'm with you.
So then they get back from this challenges, and the DSs decide to bring Randall back to ask him some questions. And they start him out with the same question they ask all of them, how he thinks he's doing. They tell him that he seems a little vacant. And he immediately says that he misses his wife and his kids. And they ask him, why did you come? And he says he came for the thrill, which
Mm-hmm.
I think he's I haven't heard anyone say that before. I think he really I've never heard any of them say that, like, that they came for the thrill.
Well,
He
to
misses
me, it was very telling because he said he just can't get away from that feeling of walking off the field victorious.
Yeah,
So I
that's
feel
what he
like
said.
that's what he's looking for, like, he wants
The adrenaline.
and he wants a victory, and I think because as we find out that his family was in a house fire, he doesn't look at that as a victory. He doesn't, because he would have been victorious if it would have never happened, even though it was probably out of his hands, whatever happened. You're victorious, you saved your family. But I think for him, he just has this thing in his head about
Yeah.
having a victory.
Yeah, no, I think that that's definitely it, and that interesting thing about that is so Andrew, I had a conversation with my son Andrew about this because he knows Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb played for his team, the Packers, for a very long time. And he told me that, he was following Aaron Rodgers. And I told him what he said that, how he misses his family because of the fire. Otherwise, he would have still been playing football. And he's like, I never knew about the fire. Like he hadn't heard about it. And Andrew follows all it. Like he knows these players and knows,
Right, right.
like
He
knows
knows
what's
the
going
deal.
on. Like he's like, I don't, he goes, probably one or two other teams he could have played for, but like he's been playing a long time. Like he's almost like at the end, if not at the end, like he's definitely past his prime, but he
Right.
said he probably could have played a little bit longer. And I think it's because he felt like he had more in him, but I guess he didn't feel like he had it mentally after the fire. And instead, I guess it put it in perspective, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they tell him that, if because he feels like he's selfish for being there because he went there for himself instead of staying home with his family, right?
But
They
I
tell
thought
him,
to myself, "Dude, it's 10 days."
right, it is 10 days.
And it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're going away for a month. It's 10 days.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, it is
I
10
don't know.
days.
I mean, it's good that he's a very dedicated family man. Like, you can't take that away from him. I find that to be very admirable. But I thought to myself, you know, calm down. It's 10 days.
Yeah. So the DSs tell him that, he's not selfish and going there is gonna make him a better version of himself. He'll be a better partner, a better father, a better person.
Mhm.
Just give it everything you have so you don't regret it. Like, just give it all you got. So, I hope he takes that advice. I
Yeah.
do. I hope he takes that advice. Then they bring the recruits back out after, they have his thing because they failed the trust test, which was the box of goodies,
Mhm.
and they know what happened, but they say that in the morning exercise, the majority of you picked number 8, Chanel, as the least trusted, and he's like, "How do you explain this?" And he brings out the empty box.
The box, yep.
And Randall immediately said, "That's on me. Like, no one else is responsible. Like, that's me."
Which I thought was really good.
100%. I like that about him. He takes responsibility. He said, "Did anyone say we shouldn't touch it?" The DS said that. And Gia said, "Yeah, number 8."
Again, Gia, the girl stepping up.
Yep. Yep. So then he has everyone but Chanel get into the dunk tank. So they all had to
Now,
get dunked.
I want to ask about this.
Mhm.
Now, I looked up the weather because I'm thinking to myself after I'm watching this, and then they will throw the water on them, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I know sometimes in the desert it can get cold at night. No, 60 at 7 a.m., otherwise between 60 and 68 degrees. So I would have been like, yeah, let's dunk. Looks
In North
good.
Africa, like where they were?
Yeah, I looked up the weather
Okay.
because I was thinking, oh, maybe it gets really cold there at night, and that's why they were, that could be a punishment. But to me, I was like, oh, it's looking pretty good. You're in the middle of the desert. I'll take a dunk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't get that.
Well, listen, I mean, I, I'm glad you gave us that fact because I had no idea what the weather was. So then after they get out of the dunk tank, he tells number 8 that he wants her to pick who she thinks is the least trustworthy.
Right. So Chanel has to pick now.
Nell has to pick. And she chooses Brianna, number 2.
Hmm.
And he said, like, why? And she said, well, she made me feel down by picking me. Like, I may not be physically strong, but you should trust me. You should trust me. And I think deep down inside, you know that, but you still
Mhm.
said my name. And I think she's 100% right, because as soon as Gia said, she helped me, Brianna said, yeah, you know what? She helped me too. Like,
Right.
I
Right.
think
So she
after she
knew it.
did it, she knew it, and she immediately regretted it.
Mhm.
But what she should have done is she should have went up to Chanel immediately and apologized. But she's like, Chanel won't even look at me. And she didn't go to her.
Right, she didn't
Right.
do the
I think
extra mile to make it right.
right. So he then says, number two, you have to go get in the cage. And then he says, who else feels like they should go in the cage? And Randall and Gia both step into the cage.
Mhm.
And I was honestly surprised that nobody else stepped in that cage. I'll be honest with you. I
Yeah,
really
'cause
was
they all
surprised.
ate it.
Yeah. They all ate it. They all ate it.
But I would imagine maybe the thing is because weren't those the 3 that were on the team that were supposed to clean up the mess hall? Like, wasn't the mess hall their gig, right? Because Gia went in.
No,
No,
so
no, Chicken Fry
It
wasn't
was
in there.
yeah, no,
It was
actually,
Gia.
now that it was Gia and Chanel.
Right, but then Russell came in, so I can see, and he was the one who said he's the one who took it, so that's why he went.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
yeah.
Gia just did it because she's stand up, and she's like, you know what? I ate it. I should take my
Right, I'm
punishment
doing it.
too.
Right, right.
Right. And I mean, the punishment was they all threw dirty water on them in that
Yeah,
cage.
that's gross. Yeah,
It was just, I mean, that's disgusting.
yeah, that's kinda gross.
And while they're sitting in the cage, Randall says, like, I was just stupid. Like, it was just stupid what I did. And
Mhm.
Brianna said, you know what? We're all idiots. And Gia said, we all really didn't care for a minute. Brianna said, the whole course is about control, and we lost it.
Yeah.
So they were really sitting in there and self-reflecting as they're getting disgusting water thrown on them.
Thrown on them. Gross.
So that's how it ended.
Yeah.
I didn't get a time either. They didn't give me a time at the end, so I don't know what time it
No.
was, which is a little annoying. But we're
So,
halfway through.
yeah, I watched, another podcast with, Andrew, and what's his wife's name, the gymnast?
Sean.
Sean, okay, I watched it with them. They were saying how, like, when they went to the mess hall to eat, 'cause people could send questions into their podcast. So
Okay.
people sent in questions like, was anybody hungry? Did you have enough to eat? Like, how was the food? And they said the food wasn't awful, but it wasn't great either. They said that there was only a certain amount of food though. So when you went to the mess hall for breakfast, there was only, you know, 30 pancakes or something. So she said it made it so that everybody was very thoughtful of how much food they took. And their podcast, Couple Things,
Mm-hmm.
they've been on for 10 years, which I
Stop it.
didn't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Sean and
And
her husband
and
have
they
had their
said
own podcast for 10
for 10
years.
years. That's what they said. Yeah.
Wow.
But they said when they did the interviews with, when the DSs would take them in and ask them how they feel they're doing on the course, those were between 30 minutes to 2 hours. Yes,
Wow.
I thought that was very good. And they said the best advice that they got from past seasons participants, I guess they have some friends who have been on the past seasons, is just get to the next meal. That it wasn't about the challenges, it wasn't about day 1, day 2. That was the best advice that they got from them, to just get to the next meal. And those black kind of necklaces that they all have on, those are their mics.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew
Yeah,
that
I
was their
didn't know
mics.
that. I was wondering what that was. And Andrew said he lost 17 pounds. And when it's time to leave, like if you hand in your armband, you really just have to leave. Like there's no behind the scenes saying goodbye. You actually leave and they take you right to the airport. Andrew said the tunnels were the most frightening. And he also said one of the most interesting facts was that nobody snored in the tent. And that I guess Ravi probably must snore because he said that Ravi brought earplugs for everyone.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And that the shower at the camp was basically a hose attached to a shower head. So, they said that was the best thing when they were done with the show, was taking that first
Real
really
shower.
nice shower. Yeah, better than their first really nice meal was, their a really nice shower. And when asked what they were most nervous about, they were most nervous about each of them leaving. Like, she was nervous about when he would leave, and he was nervous about when she would leave, and,
That makes sense.
yeah. So, I just thought that was kinda cool.
No,
I like them.
no,
I
that's
think they're
awesome.
and not only that, he just got his doctorate. I couldn't find out in what, but he's now a doctor. Not a medical doctor, but has his
Right. He's
doctorate,
got
and
his
it's
PhD. Yeah,
something.
something.
I couldn't find I it didn't say, like, what, but she was saying to him, "Oh, congratulations, now you could call him Doctor Andrew," and I was like, "Damn, look at you."
What is the name
So,
of the podcast?
couple things,
I have to look that up. I'm very curious about this.
yeah. Unless I heard wrong, I mean, that's what I wrote down, that's what I heard them say.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna look it up because I want to hear what else they've been talking about for 10 years.
Yeah. And
I'm interested.
when I looked back, like, through their posts, a lot of them were, like, relationship things, and yeah, so and they did all this stuff in regards to their children before they went. They went on, like, a 2-week vacation. They went to I forget what countries they went to. They went, like, international traveling for, like, 2 weeks before they left, and then when they were gone so they came home, and then, like, the next day, they flew out, and then they had all this stuff planned for their kids, like going with their cousins and their grandparents and going here and doing this and doing that. So she said the kids barely, they were on this whirlwind trip before they left, and then they did all this fun stuff while they were gone so that it wasn't, traumatic for the
That's
kids. They
awesome.
were just
Yeah, that's
yeah, so
great.
they just sound like great parents and really nice
Yeah, they
people.
do.
Really nice people.
That's awesome.
So we'll see you for next time what happens.
Yep. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please give us 5-star reviews and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.